Like many Catherian Australians, Hannah was born and raised in the back of a milk bar. Every night when the shop had closed and the floor had been mopped and the sliding doors were locked, the young Hannah was fortunate together with the adults at the dining table, listening every night to her large extended family to tell hours of adventures in Catherian stories. She first visited Kittura in 1969 and has since lived on the island for over 20 years. A founding member of the Catherian Summer Edition team and a regular blogger on Kittura Family Ed. And captured by the bicultural experience, the clash of the old world and the new world, Anna has long documented her others, the childhood oral stories listened to with precise precision, became a passion for Anna. And as a citizen of the world who shares her time between the birthplace of Sydney and her parents' birthplace of Kittura, Anna is currently writing a book about the 20 years spent living in her ancestral lands. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I talk really loud so I can put the microphone a little bit far away. Okay. Because then I can get into it with you. So I'm working on a book called Return to the Village. It's about the 20 years I've lived on and off Kittura since 1992. Okay? And I'm going to pass this around. Please feel free to look at it. It's a book that was, there's only one of these books. It was a friend of mine who's an award-winning photographer who came to Kittura and made a book for me. So that's something we could do. Okay, let's get going. Like many first-generation Catherians, I was born and raised in the back. Now, okay, you ready for it? Okay, like many first-generation Catherian Australians, I was born and grew up in the back of a milk bar. And that's a picture of the Yapela year, okay, at sunrise. When the doors closed and the extended family were gathered around the dinner table, shared epic stories transported us back to City Walk. I think that's a common experience. Like, you live in Australia, but when the door closes to the cave, you live in Kittura. Okay? It's a first generation experience. Victor, did I move it too far? So I want to take you through what living on the island's like. Okay? It's nice to visit, but it's great to have a sense of what it's like year-round. Okay, so in October, winter begins. The island returns to island living, which means all the tourist businesses shut down. As you just heard from our speaker, a lot of the restaurants shut down. The Greek bureaucratic machine begins. So if you want to do paperwork, don't do it in summer. Okay, November is about picking olives. Okay, so all the cafes are empty, everyone's in the fields, it's all good. The great thing is, while you pick olives, you cut firewood, which is great, and the rains begin. Okay, December is the time of olive oil pressing. So usually each sack contains 40 kilos of olives. You wouldn't go to an olive press with less than 25 sacks. Okay? So every day what you pick that day is usually about 5 sacks. So you put them so they would be rainproof. And then about the 5th day, before they start to sweat, taken to the olive oil press, and everyone is at the olive oil press. So if you've missed out on the Gavbanil, catch up at the olive oil press. It's also a time of Ayo Vasili, Ayu Vasili is the last day of the year, and traditionally Greeks, all Greece over, don't give Christmas presents, they give something for the new year. So you get a pair of new shoes, okay? And you wear them on the first day of the year. January is the time of Brodogranja, and while Christmas is usually a family, winter, I mean it's hard to imagine, it's like prawn and barbecue, but they just sit around a winter table, and Brodogranja is more of the social event. On the 6th of January, the Epiphany happens, which is the cross is thrown in the water and everyone turns up, and usually 2 or 3 brave village boys jump in and get the cross, and it brings you great luck all year long if you get it. So they usually wear their bathers and everyone else is in their winter warms. And that happens in Kapsali, Ablemona and Pelagia. People gather around the Zaki as well, which is the fireplace. So we've cut wood for like a month, then we spend 2 months burning it, right? Nice. February. Okay, February is the time when the seas get really, really windy. The days are usually cloudy, and Ayos Karalabos celebrates its the same day. Ayos Karalabos is an interesting story in Karabakh because they used to actually worship at another church at the Bonon, and one time they went there at Easter time to celebrate, and they found the church doors locked. So on the way back, this procession of village people from Karabakh, maybe about 100 of them, all picked up rocks and took it to their town square and threw them down. And from there, the church is built. That's why there is no town square any longer. Okay, this is one of my favourite times. It's March. It's the coldest month of the year, but it also is the month that handles Apokrias. Apokrias is the Mardi Gras. It's the equivalent of the Mardi Gras, and it happens just before Lent. It's the day before Lent. And the 25th of March as well. So it's actually, while it is cold, the locals and whoever's there actually begin to come out of the cave and start to socialise. Easter is the time of spring wildflowers, so the whole island is covered in wildflowers. And the island has an incredible collection of wildflowers. It has orchids that are found in no other place other than Gipira, as well as the usual stuff like you'll see chamomile, you'll see lavender, poppies. So from April, May are the times of colour. It's like someone's thrown paint down. You can see the poppies in the photo. The red things down the bottom, they're poppies, and they're probably the longest lasting of the wildflowers. Okay. May is all about Brodomaya and the sunrise, and the sun, okay? So we have Brodomaya, which is May Day. It's the equivalent of the May Day celebrations. They usually hold in Bodamo, they actually hold a maypole dance, where the young people who are still at school, in high school, are taught how to do this very, very complicated pole dance with ribbons. Like, you can't just join in, like if it looks good. Okay, so Ayos, which is between Lobos de Janica and Aranyadika, has its name there. And the reason, apart from being a local saint, one of the few local saints, it also is historically important because there's a whole lot of things, including the donkey markets that used to happen there. We think it's based on an ancient site. Okay, so if you go there, you actually think it was, who was the doctor? Was it Hippocrates? Philippius, yeah. Okay, so it's Philippius. So it's a fantastic, don't go to Kithitta and not see Agos Sodoro. There's a whole lot of stuff around it, like, you know, gossip, like the priests and whatever, but if it's between you and God, go. But yeah, this most beautiful, I'm not a religious person, but this most beautiful thing happened in May, right? So we've had Easter, and then the Mertidiotisa, the icon, taken, and there's a procession that happens around the island. So it comes to everybody's village. So even if you couldn't go to Mertidia, she comes to you. So you come out and you pay homage to her, and it takes a week to take her around the island. And she's carried by people from the village that she's gone to, and then she's received, formally received by the village she's going to. It's, I would say, one of the most moving ancient experiences. Summer comes as the first